All right, where we left off before, we had a sales country region currency parquet file. I just kind of dumped right here directly in my landing folder. And what I want to do is actually delete this. So right click on it, hit delete. You can do a soft delete if you want to, but I'm just going to delete the file. We'll give this just a second. It should delete. Okay, so it's gone. Hopping back over into this, make sure you're actually working in your working branch, not your main like I was just a minute ago. So do as I say, not as I do. Um, so we got these couple of branches here. And what I did before is I just did a debug. So when I did my debug, that executed the file or executed the pipeline. But we can also schedule this. So if we can either do a schedule creation here, or we can come over, and right now we're in the author section, but we could go to the manage section. And this is where we would go to the manage section and then author within the manage section. So, you know, whatever's up with that naming. And we could create a trigger here. And if we did that, we would create the name, the description, the schedule type. And there's not a whole lot else we can do here. Whereas if we are creating the trigger from the pipeline itself, which is kind of the way that I prefer to do it, then we can be a little bit more dynamic with it. And go on ahead and associate it with this pipeline, and in the future too, when we have parameters, then we can kind of connect the dots that way as well. So for now, what I want to do is do a new trigger, and so I'll create a new one. The trigger name is going to be, I'll just say import, sales country, blah blah blah. And you might want to be more explicit too with your daily and the time and whatever information you can give yourself. The type of schedule, we've got basically a schedule, which is kind of like a daily, weekly, whatever you want to do. You've got tumbling window, which is a little bit more complicated. You've got storage events, so that'd be like if a new file lands in a storage account, then it does something. And you've also got custom events. We're just going to do a simple schedule for right now. Right now it is May 24th. Around 11:36 a.m. So what we're going to do is set this up so that it works today. We'll say okay, and we are using 24-hour time for this, and we're going to do this every day, and we're going to do this on the 15th hour, and basically this is 24-hour time, time clock or whatever time. Just 24-hour clock, and we're going to set this up to run at the 40-minute mark. So this gives me a couple minutes to check a few things in. I'll specify an end date of, like I said, today's the 24th, so we'll end this tomorrow. I'll probably delete it before that anyways. And then I'm going to go ahead and start this trigger on creation. So as far as this is concerned, I'm okay with this. Actually, why is it 11 o'clock? And I want this to say okay. So I want this to be in the AM. I don't actually know why it was defaulting to that. So we'll just put this at 11 AM as well. And we'll just do this every one day. So stepping through it, give it a name. You can give it a description. So this daily import of my table, whatever. We got it scheduled. We're going to have this thing start today in the Eastern time zone. It's going to occur every one day. The advanced occurrence is the time, which is going to be at 11:40. I'm actually going to bump this to 11:41 just to give myself another minute. We're going to have specify an end date of tomorrow, and we'll say okay. Now it's going to complain that I need to publish this first, so that's fine. So what we've got, we're in our working branch. Come up here to my GitHub repo, and what I'm going to do is take my working branch and I'm going to merge it into my main. And what we see here is this kind of new trigger that is being created. So I'm just going to create this pull request. But before I do it, I want to come over here and show you that I do have a trigger here that I just created in my working branch, but I do not have it in my main. So let's go on ahead, merge the pull request, confirm the merge, give it just a second. Looks like that should have merged in now. So if I do a refresh, now I'm in my main branch, I see my trigger, and I need to publish this so that it will actually run when I want it to. So I got my pipelines and all that stuff that's being created right now. It's my pipeline, my two data sets, and my triggers. We'll say, okay, all that stuff's getting published. Sounds cool. We are looking at 11:39 a.m. and I believe I've got this thing scheduled to run at 11:41 a.m. We can just kind of hop in here and double check. Um, you don't really see the data set though that is associated with it here, but if you go into the JSON of it, I think you'll see the pipeline references, so you can see the name that it's going to work against. So you'll get more information in that JSON file. But let's hop back over here real quick. We'll do a refresh just to show you that there is nothing here. I'm going to pause this and we'll revisit here in just 1 minute. Actually, I take that back. Let's hop over here to the console while before it's run, and we're going to go to the monitoring section, and we will look at, we've got trigger runs and pipeline runs. Notice that this is not under source control. This is just management. So the items that we're looking at need to be they need to be published for anything to show up here. So I'm just kind of clicking back and forth, and it's at 11:41 now, so we can see that the pipeline run has started. We also see that the trigger has completed. So the trigger is just saying, hey, we triggered this thing off, that part completed, and now the part that's actually taking some time is a pipeline, but that also looks like it's successful as well. If I come over here and hit my ellipses and refresh, I can see that the file has been loaded. So that is kind of our quick intro to triggers. So as a refresher, we had some data sets. We set up a simple pipeline. And after we had that pipeline, we went in here, we created a new trigger. For those triggers, we had to make sure to publish it. So we basically did a pull request from our working branch into our main branch, published off of our main branch. Once it was published, that meant that the trigger was live. So we saw it execute, and then when it was executing, we had the ability to go in and monitor it, and we were able to look at the trigger runs and the pipeline runs. If we wanted to, we could kind of click in, get some more detail about it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that is about it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.